Yo, what is up guys, Boy here. So Deontay Wilder recently done an interview with 78 Sports TV, and I noticed an article online where it said about Deontay Wilder basically accusing Tyson Fury of using his mental health issues to sell himself in the United States and basically broaden his profile. And I've noticed a few people out there, they've got upset about Deontay Wilder saying that, but in reality, it is true. Since Tyson Fury's comeback, that's all we've heard, about Tyson Fury's struggles and how he's battled back to get where he is now. Every single fight since his comeback, in the build-up, that's been the story, that's been the selling point. And I'd imagine it's the same over there in the United States, I'd imagine that's all you heard in the build-up to the Wilder fight and the Tom Schwarz fight. It's basically Tyson Fury's main selling point right now. And Deontay Wilder isn't wrong when he says that. And to be quite honest, I am getting very bored with it, change it up. I know these Tom Schwarz fights are hard to sell, but at least come up with a new angle. Do you know what I mean? It's just not for me. And I do totally agree with Deontay Wilder when he says that. Deontay Wilder, in the interview, said the following: the only thing he's really got to go off is beating a dead horse with the mental illness thing. That's it. But he's going to find in America, that's yesterday's news. That's an old story. In America, we want what's fresh and what's new. There are millions who have faced this illness. It's a thing that can be overcome. So many people have overcome it. He wants to come up with this story. It's something he's holding on to. The mental illness thing is dying out. As you can see in his last fight, it says it all. The story paints itself. It tells its own story. It's pathetic what he's doing, but as long as people are entertained, he's going to continue to do it. But once it dies down, he may change his ways. Those are the words of Deontay Wilder. And like I said, I do agree with him when he says, Tyson Fury is going into overdrive, using this mental health issue as a selling point to his career and a promotional tool for his fights. That's just what it is. Now, I'm not saying what Tyson Fury is doing is wrong. Ultimately, a fighter will use whatever it takes to promote himself, to get himself out there. And I guess, Tyson Fury's story at least has some good to come out of it. It will inspire people out there, so it's really not hurting anybody, and in some instances, it will inspire people. So, I'm not criticising Tyson Fury, but all I'm saying is, for me personally, it's getting a little bit played out. Now, you can argue that Deontay Wilder is a hypocrite for even bringing that up, considering, Deontay Wilder likes to use social issues to sell himself. He's also used the illness of his daughter in several fights that's been brought up. So listen, Deontay Wilder, it's not like he doesn't use the same tactics. He basically does whatever he can to promote himself, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, people like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fit perfectly into Western culture in 2019. You look at Deontay Wilder fans and Tyson Fury fans, and when I say fans, by the way, I use that term loosely. I'm talking about fanboys, not regular fans who enjoy their fights and that's it. I'm talking about the real fanatics, the diehards that believe these guys can walk on water and cure AIDS. They're the guys I'm talking about. And, Fury and Wilder, like I said, they fit into 2019 Western culture because, there's this victimhood culture going around in 2019 where everybody's oppressed, everybody has something holding them back, whether it's mental illness, whether it's social issues, whatever it may be. Everybody's got something holding them back, and people like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, they appeal to those people. In 2019, you've got people out there on social media and in the media in general making a living off victim culture, whether they be race hustlers or mental illness hustlers, LGBT hustlers, left or right-wing personalities. All of these people are, they're basically tapping in to the victim culture, and there's a lot of money to be made there. There really is. And a lot of people are lining their pockets. There's so many personalities on social media that are doing really well out of this movement, the social justice movement and things like that. And, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, they appeal to that 2019 skinny jean wearing, latte drinking generation. They do. That's just what it is. These guys ain't gritty, they're not greasy, they're not gully. They are what they are, really, They are doing a great job promoting themselves outside the ring in that victimhood culture without really doing any major work in the ring. Tyson Fury, I know people will say he beat Deontay Wilder, but on paper, Tyson Fury hasn't got a ring-rated top 10 win since November 2015. And as for Deontay Wilder, as we all know, his resume is extremely light. So these guys are doing a great job in talking themselves up, promoting themselves, increasing their profiles without really being about it. So credit to both guys in that sense, but as for fighters, it makes me laugh when you get these fanboys put these two guys up on a pedestal like they're elite and like they're doing more than their peers, but that couldn't be further from the truth. There's so many more fighters right now doing greater things than the likes of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. The likes of Alexander Usyk, Juan Francisco Estrada, Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis, Canelo Alvarez, even in the same division as those two guys, Andy Ruiz. He's had a better year than both of those guys. He's got a better win on his resume than Deontay Wilder in particular, but his win over Joshua also trumps any win on Fury's resume for the past 4 years. So, listen man, these guys are doing very little. They're just great talkers, and they appeal to a certain demographic. That's all there is to it. I'm sure the fangirls are going to be upset, but, it is what it is. I'm just tired of these two talking. I mean, they've had their interim fights against Dominic Breazeale and Tom Schwartz. Why not just fight each other next, for Christ's sake? If you dudes are about it like you say, why not fight each other next? No, Deontay Wilder, he organised that fight with Lewis Old T's pronto, leaving no time to organise other fights. And as for Tyson Fury, he pulled out of the initial negotiations for a Wilder rematch. So these guys ain't about it. They're just talking absolute ish. They're talking ish. Why? Who wants to watch Deontay Wilder fight Lewis Old T's again? Dragging this poor old boy out of a retirement home to get knocked spark out. Lewis Ortiz has looked terrible since that Deontay Wilder loss. He's done. There's no need for a rematch. You don't rematch fights where you decisively won. You rematch controversial fights like Tyson Fury. That's the fight that should happen next. And listen, for me, both of these guys are to blame at this point. And as for Tyson Fury, I heard of the name Trevor Bryan get mentioned. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's scraping the barrel. Now granted, I will say this, I've not seen much of Trevor Bryan. Maybe he's the best kept secret in heavyweight boxing. Somehow I doubt it. So, listen man, a wasted year for certainly Tyson Fury and arguably Deontay Wilder. And, we've got to wait till 2020 for the rematch. And these guys, in the meantime, continue to talk. But, that's what it is. That's what it's going to be for the remainder of 2019, certainly. And listen, us true boxing fans, we can moan, we can bitch, we can complain, we can vote with our wallets. But there's a lot of people out there facilitating this type of behaviour. Fanboy channels that call themselves media and, paid for journalists, etc., etc. None of these guys have the boxing fans' interests at heart. They're just lining their own pockets, following orders and pushing a certain narrative. It's really sad what the YouTube boxing community has become. I've made mentions of it in the past. I've actually called a couple of people out. But, I'm not trying to start anything, but it's really sad. It's really sad how good this website used to be when people used to keep it boxing. But these days, people are either paid for, they follow orders, or they're just, downright fanboys. It's really sad, what the YouTube boxing community has become. And, that's just my 2 cents on it. And even the US versus UK angle as well, that's embarrassing. That's peddled by people who haven't even left their living room. You know, they talk gully, but, you know, they're online being a man defender. You lads ain't about ish, so come off it. You ain't fooling anybody. You know, you ain't fooling anybody. And listen, given how I feel about the YTBC right now, how it's turned out, what it's become, that's the reason I'm purely taking this channel solo from now on. I don't have to answer to anybody. I'm not in an echo chamber, and I won't fall into groupthink. I don't want to be a part of any clique, anything like that, any group. It's just me, and I'm talking boxing. Don't get me wrong, I like a lot of channels on here, I do. And from time to time, I will jump on a stream or two. But, you know, going forwards, I've mentioned it in the past, this channel is going to be me and me alone. It is what it is. Share your thoughts below. Peace.